computers that he was sending over there more valuable, and definitely addressing many other problems, a root cause to many other problems in those areas. He didn't even stop there, though. He's from Rhode Island, and him and his younger sister actually lobbied the Rhode Island state legislation to ban the dumping of electronics, and that's pretty big. So if you live 50 miles south of here, or go 50 miles south, your laptop breaks down and you try to throw it away, you're probably, well, you're not probably, but you just may get a knock on your door from an angry Alex Len. That's pretty angry at you and pretty pissed off because you just threw away a computer that could be refurbished. However, I wouldn't be too afraid. He's not going to pack that Mike Tyson knockout punch because, well, can you hit it? He's only 16 years old. And he started up his organization when he was 12. So, can we hit it again? All right, so now we're moving on to Kenya, to my friend Pascal Katana. Is anybody here from Kenya? I know we had some Africans. Dang. All right, whatever. So I'm going to have to explain. I was going to let you, the Kenyans, do the explaining, but I'll do it. So Pascal is addressing an interesting problem, or he is addressing an interesting problem, and that is that farmers in rural Kenya were getting ripped off by the city dwellers that were coming in there and giving them corrupt rates. So they're buying their crops for much cheaper than they should. So Kenya, the Kenyan government had a great initiative. They put a bunch of cell phone towers all over the rural districts of Kenya, gave farmers access to cell phones, and are sending daily text messages that tell farmers about the crop rates of the day and the week. However, the Kenyan government didn't realize a lot of these farmers, villagers don't have electricity. So what good is a cell phone if you can't power it, right? So what they were doing, they were hiring these middlemen, these peddlers, to go take their cell phones for 2 or 3 days, take them to the cities, charge them up, bring them back for a small price. Pascal said, I don't really like that. I'm from one of these rural villages in Kenya, and I see the farmers still paying money to the peddlers, and so even though they're not getting ripped off by the city dwellers, they're still spending the same amount of money, or losing money. Sorry. And so he said, I'm cutting out the middleman and developed a smart charger. And it's basically a device that attaches to your bicycle. When you pedal it, it will charge your cell phones or batteries that can be put into radios, which is another great resource to get this information. I'll give you the daily crop rates. Like Alex Len, he didn't stop there. He has prototypes for many other inventions, such as fish finders, devices that detect maternal health problems before it's too late and the mothers die. And he also has a rainmaker that helps produce rain during times of drought in Kenya. So Pascal Katana, like you can see, 23 years old, a little older, but when he invented the smart charger, he started implementing it in Kenya when he was 20 years old. So these are two great examples of how youth are the leaders of today and not just tomorrow. So can we get one more example? We got Jessica Markowitz of Richards, Rwanda. She's back in the US. And she has raised over 40 grand to help girls in Rwanda finish primary school and secondary school. She's also coupled that with about $60,000 in grants, which equals about 100 grand, right? So 100 grand seems like a good amount of money in the US. You can send a lot of girls to school, get them through their education, give them a great education. But in Rwanda, when you convert that to that currency, that has a lot more worth, a lot more value, and has impacted tons of girls in Rwanda. Like the others, she didn't stop there. She actually set up some programs in Rwandan high schools, which that basically have the high school girls be mentors to some of the younger girls in the elementary schools. And so it's kind of the both parties went on this side because the high school girls learn how to give mentorship and teach, whereas the younger girls have a support network. She didn't stop there even. Now she teaches English literacy, and a couple of her members of her organization teach English literacy to girls in the rural district of Naimata. However, she can't do that all year round because actually, Jessica Markowitz is only 15 years old and has just started high school. So high school gains weight over helping kids in Rwanda, even though I'm sure many of us would say, you don't need the school, keep helping the girls. But we don't want that because she can go on to much bigger and better things. So, yeah, we'll go through this one.
Oh, okay.
Can we go one more?
Yeah.
Okay. So those are some examples to tell you why the youth are the leaders of today and a driving force of making society today a better place. So how does Youth Venture fit in the mix? How does Ashoka's Youth Venture fit in the mix? What do? We actually invest in youth ages 12 to 20, or we can go to 21 in the US and in Europe, and 12 to 24 elsewhere in the world. And we help these youth address problems that they want to in their communities and the world through their own creative ways. So this is a great concept because we aren't an outside force coming into their locations and saying, here are the problems you got, here are the people that are going to solve them, and here's how you're going to solve them. We use that insight from the community members that are living in these areas that obviously know what's going on and the problems in their communities. We let them pick what problems they want to address and in what ways they can address so it's the most sustainable, it's long lasting, it's not just a Band-Aid over the problem, it's just going to get torn off. Everybody knows you don't like tearing off a Band-Aid, that's like the worst thing in the world, right? So we've launched, so we've got seed grants of up to $1,000 to help these youth-led, youth-initiated social ventures. And we've helped launch over 3,500 of these in over 50 countries in the world. We have offices in 18 countries, and we access those other countries through global virtual campaigns. So, can we go on? All right, so but Youth Venture isn't just a grant-giving organization. We do much more than that. We actually help cultivate these youth to become social entrepreneurs, and then we support them after we allot, I don't like to use the word give, after we allot them the $1,000 seed grants. So first let's talk about how we cultivate these young social entrepreneurs. We have pre-launch support in the form of many different programs. Our flagship model is called the Dream It, Do It Challenge. And this is an 8-part workshop series where we get youth from different areas. We've done areas in Boston such as Roxbury, Dorchester, Malden, all over the place in Boston. We get these youth, about 30, 35, bring them together in this 8-part workshop series where we introduce them to the concept of social entrepreneurship. Then we help them come up with an idea for a social venture by helping them match a passion they have, a hobby, something they like to do, with a problem they want to address in their communities. Because we want them to have fun while running their ventures, and we want them to have an overall positive experience so they continue to create positive change throughout their entire lives. We have many other programs that are shortened versions of this, and a lot of times we pull in support from different youth-serving agencies to help these youth. Because what we actually do, I'm going to go back to the Dream It, Do It Challenge, I'm sorry. After we help them formulate an idea, we help them fill out what we call an action plan, but it's a business plan, a simplified business plan. It has budget, has timeline, it has feasibility and sustainability strategies, all kinds of stuff that help the youth organize their venture in the best way to make the most success and the most positive change in their community. All right, so like I said, we have other programs, shortened down versions of this where we pull in youth workers from different youth-serving organizations that help these youth fill out their business plans or action plans, as we call them. So it's not just Youth Venture staff all the time doing the mentorship to help these youth. We also have different campaigns, global campaigns, where we gather youth virtually around a certain issue type. So we're talking water sanitation, lack of access to electricity. We have big brainstorming sessions where they come up with different ideas for social ventures. Then we work with them on a case-by-case basis to help them organize their venture and fill out that action plan, right? We have many other different programs, but time's a ticking and I can't really talk about them all today. So for post-launch support, what we do after they're going through a community panel, which all of them must do before they get our $1,000 seed grant, we have many different mediums of support. We have blogs that inform them of different grant opportunities that are around, different fundraising ideas, different movies that they can even watch to get them inspired. We have events such as a yearly summit, an annual summit, where we bring youth together, all these different youth from around the world together in one place, usually in the US, and we just have different workshops for them. We have different keynote speakers that come to motivate them, but most importantly, we have activities that make them feel like they've come together and they're a part of a global movement of youth-initiated social change and not just doing their own thing in their respective location. Excuse me. We have different mentors. We have, in the Boston area, through one program, when youth launch, they get their $1,000 seed grant. We hook them up with young professional advisory mentor teams, which actually meet with them once every 2 or 3 weeks for the first 6 months of their launch phase, just to help them overcome different obstacles that they're coming across and talk about what's going on in their venture. We also have different webinars where we help them come up with outcome measurements and help them actually construct impact dashboards for their own ventures. So we try to make some tangible worksheet and some tangible things that they can take out of those webinars, not just gain skills through what we're talking about, what we're lecturing them about, if you want to call it that. Okay, so one event before we move on that I really want to talk about that could be pertinent to a lot of you is called the Solar Scramble. It's going to be happening in Boston, and actually in Cambridge at MIT, the Microsoft Nerd Center at the end of October. And it's a weekend-long event where we bring college freshmen, sophomores, and we can work with juniors even. We bring them all to the Microsoft Nerd Center for a weekend-long event where we have different mentors, different workshops, and all different kinds of stuff, all different kinds of resources to help them come up with a venture idea if they don't already have one, and to organize it to the best of their ability. At the end of the program, on Sunday afternoon, we have a community panel. They pitch their ventures. They can receive up to $1,000 and seed grants. But one thing that's really imperative that we have to have for college students, and I'm really working hard to get this, is, can you hear that? It's the free food aspect. Yeah. So don't worry, college students, we got you covered on that. All right, so can we go one more? All right, so we do a lot of different stuff at Youth Venture. I told you about some great youth social entrepreneurs. We do a lot of good work to support these. And we do this all because we see one big problem in the world. And it's really society has a lack of confidence in the youth to address the problems that are facing us right now, such as global warming, the earthquake that happened in Haiti. The youth really don't get a seat at the table, and a lot of these discussions revolving around the actual solutions and what we should implement to help out these people that are suffering from these problems. So Youth Venture is here to support these youth, tell them that, man, there are organizations, there are people out there that believe in you, and we want to give you the resources and support that you need and that all these other youth need to believe that they can and they will create change, local change or global change in their communities. So almost done here. Sorry, timekeeper. So just imagine a world. Now, I don't want you to close your eyes yet, because I'm going to help you imagine this world in a sec. So we got Nelson Mandela, Muhammad Yunus, Mother Teresa, and MLK, right? And just imagine, they're influential change makers, big-time change makers in the last 100 years. But imagine if they would have started creating this social change and getting into the mix when they were 12, 13, 14. Can you guys imagine that? I'm going to help you imagine it. Go ahead. So just imagine these influential change makers would have started creating change at a younger age, would have got a leg up, and started developing skills such as learning how to mobilize people, learning how to manage people, running many different activities, working towards a common goal, public speaking skills. They would have developed all of these skills at a much earlier age. And that's a beautiful thing, right? So what we... Oh, sorry. Go back. Sorry. So, in a perfect world with closing, I just want you to again imagine a world where everybody, especially youth, has the opportunity to influence their community in their own creative ways and address the issues that they want to. You'll probably see a lot more of this. Can you hit it, please? Which is youth-led, youth-initiated change, and that may be what the world really needs. So thank you very much.